Hey folks, I thought I'd do a little bit of reading from my work in progress. I am currently writing Daughter of Erebus, The Wronged. The Wronged is temporary, might not be the final title. Before this gets released, obviously it has to be finished. And the previous book, which is currently in my editor's hands, Daughter of Erebus Sparrow, has to be released. But whatever, I feel like doing this. And I'm writing this, and this is fresh off. I wrote this yesterday-ish. So let's see how far we get. This is Chapter 8, A Decent Proposal. Mira Horton, reporter for the Densfarn News Vibe, had been promised an interview by Sarah back when Sarah was not herself during the Spark crisis. Mira had wanted to reach out to Sarah but didn't have Sarah's contact info, and the government was precisely zero help. Understandable, doubtless this little nanobird was top secret or some such. When the name Sarah Hartford popped up as an incoming call, it was a welcome surprise. Mira answered with haste. "Sarah, what can I do for you?" Sarah smiled softly, eyebrows raised slightly. "Hey, I kind of wanted to make a statement to, well, given the anti-nano stuff going around." Mira chuckled. "You want to get in front of the bad press? A little damage control?" "That's one way of putting it," Sarah conceded. "But there's a lot of innocent people who get targeted by idiots." "Innocent people? You mean the West Amsfard miracle patients?" Sarah huffed. "I'm not too keen on calling them miracles. There's baggage on that word." "Fine, I get it. What do you want to call them?" "Can we just record something? You can jump in with questions. I've given this some thought." "Video?" Sarah thought about it. Her identity was far from a well-kept secret, but she didn't need to push it in people's faces. "I guess putting my face out there is kind of necessary, but I guess I don't want to be explicitly broadcasting my location. You got an office, a studio, or something we can shoot at? How at the edge of Brentford Park? It couldn't be too busy. I have my camera guy here this afternoon. Are you good for 2? Like today too? Sounds like a plan." Scene break, scene break, scene break. With the lunch rush at the Forfax over, Sarah prepared to head out. Cody, finishing reloading the newly washed glass steins, gave Sarah a wave. "Have fun being famous." "Cody, no." Cody grimaced slightly and gave Sarah a small nod. They were both aware of the risk of being attached to Sarah's fame. After a short train ride and a brisk walk, Sarah spotted Mira and William. Mira was dressed in a casual business jacket, suitable for a field report, and William was decked out for utility. He had a set of 3 fist-sized lights hanging in a row down his left hip, a tight bundle of metal rods strapped to his back, and a video camera held casually in front of him. Mira stepped towards Sarah, waving. "Miss Hartford?" Sarah smiled as they drew closer. "Oh, silly, call me Sarah. Miss Hartford was my father's name." William grimaced. No? For a number of no's?" Mira smirked and gestured towards a nearby bench that was in the shade of a nearby oak. The instant Sarah accepted the position, William was smoothly and efficiently set into motion, setting up 2 folding tripods, which he snapped out of the bundle on his back. He caught a glimpse of Sarah watching him place one of the lights on one of the tripods and felt the need to explain. "A counterlight will give us more natural light." Sarah smirked and nodded towards the sun. "More natural than natural?" "I got it. Showbiz, huh?" "More natural than natural," Mira said as she sat at the bench. "Sounds like fun for a story featuring you, Sarah." Sarah frowned slightly as William quickly and quietly set it up and activated the camera. Sarah sat on the bench. "I'm not more natural than nature. It's never been my goal to fool the world into thinking I was human. But that was my father's goal for me." Mira tilted her head in the way an interviewer does. "He wanted you to blend in with humanity? For what purpose? Was it a strategic move?" "At first, before he actually made me, yeah, that was his overall goal. Revenge or whatever for his defeat at Peston. But as he was building me, he used the memories he had harvested from his sister, and made the mistake of experiencing them, living them. Records indicate that your father, Jonathan Cole, killed Amanda Cole during his occupation of Meston. Or I suppose by then he wasn't the human Jonathan Cole as much as he was Erebus." Sarah bit her lips together and nodded softly, looking towards the grass. "That's the short version, yeah. He lived through what he'd done to her, and gave all those memories to me eventually. They're part of me now. He didn't just kill her. He killed her repeatedly, tortured her again and again, in the most creative ways he could come up with. All while the government was still figuring out how to get into Meston." "Good Lord, you went through all that?" Sarah sighed. "Died through all that, and before I did, so did he." He experienced what it was like to be killed by him. Why would he put all that into his creation? His daughter. Sarah leaned back and had a mirthless laugh. Oh, it gets better. Long before he handed over all those memories, or gave me a physical body, he had me live through a simulation that was a mix of his attacks on Autor and Meston. Excuse me, but why in hell? Just inflict more torture? Sarah gripped the front edge of the bench beside her knees and sighed. He wanted me to understand in his own ways. He thought it was important for me to understand what he'd done. Couldn't he have just told you? It would not have driven the point home so much. It was too much, of course. He wanted me to understand what kind of risk I'd be in if people found out what I was. Or who made me. He wanted me to have a normal life, but that was overly optimistic. Mira put her hand on Sarah's and nodded. Why did he want that? To make it up to his sister, in a way. To let her legacy at least, have the rest of her life. Mira scoffed lightly. With all those horrible memories in your head? Sarah shook her head slowly with a sad smile. He was fucked up. He tried to be better in his own way, but I think his source, the human origin, he was flawed too deeply. The original Jonathan was as cruel as his AI copy? Sarah held out her hands like a scale tipping back and forth. Arguably worse. He wasn't able to cause as much death as his AI self, but he wanted it. It was a challenge to him. His AI self just followed the pattern until he lived his sister's memories. The army battered Erebus down, but it never really defeated him. The ghost of his sister was what did it. Thank Amanda Cole. I understand that Amanda and Jonathan's mother, Carol, was also lost in the William, who had quietly taken a call, called out to Mira. Mira, the office says there's been an explosion at Miss Hartford's work, that bar.
End of chapter.
Okay. I didn't edit that very thoroughly. I had to stop and I did some editing while I was reading this. Some of the jumps were me fumbling lines. Some of them were me finding typos and correcting them and rereading it. Okay, folks, that was Chapter 8 of Daughter of Erebus. At this point, it's called Daughter of Erebus the Wronged, although it is a work in progress, so that's subject to change. Anyway, that's so far from it coming out. The previous book is also not quite out yet, Daughter of Erebus Sparrow. But in the meantime, y'all can head by my website, osro.ca, and that'll hook you up. My first series, the Life Hack series, consisting of Life Hack, Watching Utes, and Echoes of Erebus, which is Sarah's debut, where she's introduced as a character. Then my second series there is the Rubberman series, of course, Rubberman's Cage, Rubberman's Citizens, and my latest released book, Rubberman's Exodus. And all of the Rubberman series is available on Audible, so is Life Hack, and Watching Ute is coming soon as an Audible, but they're all in hardcover, softcover, Kindle, and other ebook formats. It's out on ebooks on like a dozen different formats. So whatever your choice is, I try to be accommodating. Anyway, I hope y'all can... When did I start saying y'all? I'm not a y'all person. Y'all. Anyway, all my stuff is over there at osro.ca. You can find Joseph Picard on Facebook, and my author page is there also. I'm very happy to get feedback and drop me a line. Tell me what you hope to see in the future. Of course, reviews and that sort of thing are super welcome for my books. It bumps the algorithms, so they say, but I also like getting feedback and knowing what sort of things resonate with people and what maybe is your yuck and what's your yum. Oh, those are yucky terms. I am far too old to use those kind of terms. I just turned 48, can you believe it? Yeah, I hope to make more stuff like this, do more readings, and release bits here and there, because I'm excited about the book. I'm excited about, well, all my books really. But give me feedback, and stay tuned, I guess. Talk to you later.